Hey everybody, welcome to week 4 of the NFL. Hopefully you did just fine last week in week 3. But let's take a look at what we got in week 4 this year this week for the NFL. Before we get into that, we're going to keep reiterating. It's so important that you guys are trying to make some money that you should follow us on Twitter. We're posting picks that we're not doing on the YouTube channel. You can see Sliwa, big win with the Rams money line. Our lock of the week, which was on our card with the Panthers and the Cardinals hit. So a good 3 units on that one too. You're going to get a lot of information, a lot of valuable bets by following our Twitter at Profit of Picks. So that's something you definitely want to look at. But from there, we got some pretty exciting news we want to announce.
Yeah, so we're really excited to announce our partnership with PrizePicks. This is a daily fantasy sports app. And using our promo code here, ProPicks, they'll match your deposit up to $100. So just a little bit about this app. You pick props for at least 2 players from 2 different teams, and this is free money. This is $100 that you guys can play around with and try to just make a profit off of them. And using our promo code, you guys get a lot of money to play around with. And Ian's going to explain a little bit more how it works. So
yeah, you might be asking yourself, okay, why should I join PrizePicks? Like, how is this different than any other maybe betting app? The 2 key things that I love about PrizePicks are the options and the flexibility with the flex play or the power play. If you're making like parlays on apps like FanDuel or DraftKings, you really should be transferring over to PrizePicks because you get these options. The flex play, depending on how many entries you want to put in your parlay, they pay you out different amounts. But the key thing is you don't have to hit each leg of your parlay if you want to get paid back money. You can see in the flex play for 2 legs, you'll get half your money back if just one of them is right. But if, as you said, let's say you have 3 legs in your parlay and only 2 of them hit, you're still making money. So you get that flexibility there, or you can go for the power play. You see here, I have a two leg parlay that's paying out 3 times. You're not going to get those kind of odds on any other sports book, certainly not on DraftKings, FanDuel. So if you're making these 2 leg parlays on other sports books, you're leaving money on the table and you're wasting your money, because I can guarantee you there's no other book out there that's giving you 3 times your money for a 2 leg parlay. So you definitely want to sign up, use our code ProPicks to get $100 up to $100 match. And also, once we reach $50 or 50 signups using our code, we're going to be giving away $50 Amazon gift cards to 15 of the users that signed up using our code. So it's something you definitely want to consider, especially if you're out there making parlays on different apps. PrizePicks is something you should definitely consider.
Yeah, also just quick thing to note, if you're in a state where gambling is illegal, this is a great option for you because this is daily fantasy. And so that's states like Texas, California, Florida,
big states that you can't use DraftKings, FanDuel, but you can use PrizePicks. So something to definitely look into if you're trying to break into the sports gambling scene.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of that promo code there.
With that, yeah, let's head into the games.
There we go.
Can move there. So right now, this is just after Monday Night Football where the Eagles lost to the Cowboys. There's currently no line on DraftKings and FanDuel, but last time I checked, the Chiefs were favored by 6, around 6.5 against the Eagles, which personally I love because coming off 2 straight losses, you can't imagine that the Chiefs lose another one, especially to the Eagles that really struggled against the Cowboys on Monday night. I just can't imagine a world where Patrick Mahomes starts 1-3 in this incredibly competitive division. What do you think?
Yeah, just adding on to that, the Broncos are 3-0, the Raiders are 3-0. And the Chargers are 2-1. Yeah. So the Chiefs are in sole possession of last in the AFC West. This is not expected by anybody, and I don't expect the season to end like that. The Chiefs are still favorites to win the division, so everybody definitely expects them to bounce back this week. Kind of a must-win game with how well the rest of the division's playing.
Yeah, it's hard
still
to
too early.
It's hard to believe they're already in must-win territory, but I agree. I don't know where this line's going to end up. Like I said, it was around 6.5. I think that the Chiefs are going to be playing angry. They're going to be playing harder than they ever have. This is pretty uncharted territory for them. They're not trying to go 1-3. I think they blow out the Eagles, who really look to have some offensive struggles against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I agree with everything Ian said on that one. And then we'll talk about the other team that was in this Monday night matchup. So thus there's no line, but we have the Cowboys against the Panthers.
Yeah, this was around Cowboys -4, -3.5 area for the whole week until this game started. I'm guessing they might move more towards the Cowboys because they looked really good on Monday night, kind of in combination with the Eagles looking really bad. But definitely like the Cowboys to win this game, especially with the Panthers throwing out rookie quarterback Davis Mills that really couldn't do anything against the Panthers. They're playing the Panthers. That's on me. I still without Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah,
Rook,
McCaffrey's gone.
rookie Chuba Hubbard at running back. J.C. Horn out at cornerback, but they did just pick up
CJ Henderson. But they lost Dan Arnold in that trade.
Yeah,
they lost the dynamic duo
of Darnold and Arnold. That's gonna be terrible.
Morale's gonna be down.
I don't know. What do you think about this? Because the
Yeah.
Panthers will look good. I think they have one loss this year.
I think their defense is very good, but I think if you look into a little bit more, the Panthers, they beat the Saints, which is a good win, but I really wasn't impressed with them against the Texans. They only put up 7 points in the first half. They didn't look too great to me, especially when McCaffrey went out. I think that injury is going to be huge.
Yeah, they looked a lot more slow on offense. And then that offense just runs through him either the running game or the passing game. That's really going to hinder what they do. I think they're 3-0. I don't think they've lost a game yet.
They are.
Okay. So, I think they're due for a loss. They're playing in Dallas. I think what I'm so impressed by with Dallas is their defense, the turnaround this year with Dan Quinn running that unit. Guys like Diggs and Parsons, young guys are really making a huge impact. You still got guys like Jalen Smith running around making big plays too. I'm so impressed with what Dan Smith has done with this unit. I think that's going to be the key in this game, and that's going to be the reason why I'm giving the Cowboys the edge. I think they have such a good defense, and they're playing way above maybe their personnel level, and their offense, especially with the passing game attack, this looks really good. And now with the emergence of Tony Pollard in that backfield, it's really hard to stop that offense as they have 2 really solid running backs, 3 really solid receivers that can throw the ball to, and Dak that looks like he's in complete control in that offensive scheme. So
yeah, I expect the Cowboys to win and cover this game.
I think so too. But so keep an eye on that spread when it comes out, and we'll probably post up on Twitter once we see those lines out.
And then with that, we'll go to the Giants versus the Saints. I personally am not a very big fan of either of these teams, and Jameis has not played that well, honestly. They got very lucky getting the Packers at the wrong time, or at the right time, I mean.
Right time for them,
yeah. Right time for them. But Jameis didn't look great against the Patriots, but their defense smothered Mac Jones. Mac Jones really couldn't do anything, had no run game, threw a couple picks. So I think the Saints' success really relies on their defense, but playing another defensive team is with the Giants, and are they 0-3 now? Yes, they are 0-3. Yeah, I just feel like this is a game that a little more important to the Giants. The Saints just squeaked out another one, so they're 2-1, but I think they're a lot worse than their record indicates. So I would take Giants here plus 7.5. I
want to be clear: the Saints are winning this football game. There's no doubt in my mind about it. If you watch these videos before, you'll know that I'm just never a big fan of betting on a team favored by more than a touchdown. That being said, I'm not going to pick. I don't love the Giants at plus 7.5 either, but I'm never going to bet on a team to win by more than a touchdown. It's just so hard to predict. There's so many scenarios where, a backdoor cover and a last minute drive where people just stop trying. But the Giants have no run game in general. Their O-line is just so bad. And the Saints are probably the best run stopping unit in the NFL. The Giants aren't going to get anything on the run. They're going to force Daniel Jones to drop back and pass a ton. I don't expect that to go really well for them, as the Saints have a really good secondary too, as you saw them picking off Aaron Rodgers a few times. Marshawn Lattimore is playing like the best cornerback in football right now, according to some metrics and grades. I just think it's going to have the Giants offense is going to have a really hard time getting going. They can only put up 14 points against the Falcons. Yeah, what are they going to do against the Saints? I'm not saying the Saints offense looks that great either, because they really don't. So maybe the under is something you might want to pick in this game, with 2 strong defenses and 2 really bad offenses, or just a really bad offense in the Giants and a subpar one in the Saints. I expect to see a lot of Alvin Kamara work. Blake Martinez, the middle linebacker for the Giants, out for the year with the ACL tear. So that's going to be good for the Saints run game, because he's one of the best run stopping linebackers in football. But like I said, Saints are winning this game, no doubt. This is something I definitely like in a T situation, because I just can't imagine a scenario where the Giants can consistently move the football against these guys.
Yeah. And for clarification, I do not like the Giants to win the game, but I feel like they'll lose by a touchdown here.
That's all you
get that extra 0.5 hook.
No, I agree with what you're saying though. This seems like, something about starting 0-4 kind of lights a fire under a team's butt, and they may be trying a little bit harder this game than they otherwise would. So
my thing is, I feel like the Saints have gotten a lot of luck off of the other team's turnovers, whether week 1 or this last week. So I just feel like and that's saying a lot. I don't really expect Daniel Jones to be too protective of the ball, but if they limit themselves to 1 turnover, I think it'll be a really close game. But and then
this one, if you watch these videos too, I love the Browns. I didn't get to watch too much football this weekend. I know they dominated the Bears, who really are kind of a pitiful franchise in general, a pitiful team right now. But I think the way with their run game, how solid it is, Baker Mayfield's ability to make plays was Odell Beckham, was he a factor in the game on Sunday at all?
Not much.
They didn't need anything against the Bears.
Yeah.
All they had to do was beat 6 points, but
Yeah.
I think they have enough offense, and you saw that defense can get after the quarterback. The Vikings have a subpar offensive line. That's really the only weakness they have on offense. Their defense is stepping up, but I just like the Browns in a close game here against the Vikings. I know that Dalvin Cook didn't play last week. I'm not sure if he does play this week, but I think it's a huge factor. Like I said, like the Browns, it's going to be a close game, but it's -2 in my mind. It's basically a coin flip. Who's going to win this game in a last-second field goal? I take the Browns over the Vikings any day in that.
Yeah, no, I agree. If I were to pick the spread here, I would probably lean Browns -2, but I'm not going to take either of these teams this game. I'm going to go with the under if I were to bet it. I think the Browns defense is going to be one of the best in the league. They're getting there. They have a lot of younger guys, so it's taking time, but that definitely showed against the Bears, even though they have probably the worst offensive line in the league. And I also think the Vikings are getting some chemistry back. They had a brand new defensive line this year, but with Michael Pierce, kind of blanking on a couple
Everson
other
Griffin's a great guy on the edge too. Kendricks, I think Barr might be out at linebacker. When they're both healthy, they're really scary. Harrison Smith,
they got
perennial safety of the
Patrick
year
Peterson in the secondary. I think their defense is going to progress. I think both of these defenses will progress as the season goes along.
And these are two teams that love to run the ball, especially when Dalvin Cook's in. When you get teams that just rely on the run game a lot, that's going to drain clock and it's going to make that over a little bit harder to achieve. So I do like that. I like that under. It's a consideration here too.
Yeah. And then with that, we'll go to the Colts Dolphins. This one's kind of a tougher read with the uncertainty at quarterback play. I still think Brissett's going to start this week.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely is. I think I saw that Tua was out for a few weeks. He's not playing this game without a doubt. But
so I know I wasn't a doctor, but I called that Tua injury correctly.
Yep. But we're all over that one. I like the Colts here. I think they're a better football team than the record shows. I like how their kind of formula of rely on the run game, play solid defense. Carson Wentz, make a few throws when you have to. I think that might be enough to beat this Dolphins team. It's just so hard because the Dolphins put up a better fight than I thought they would against the Raiders. I didn't get to watch too much of that game, so I don't get to see too much of the tape, but I think this is a game the Colts win outright anyways. Like I said, they're due to win. It's either them or the Titans to win this division, and I don't think they're going to allow the Titans to run away with it, with the Jags and the Texans really not being a factor at all. They're going to have to start competing. They have a lot of great personnel, a lot of great talent on that roster. I think it's about time for them to step up.
Yeah, I completely agree. If I were to take any single bet on this game, I would take Colts money line here.
Mm-hmm.
Their whole team's pissed off. Darius Leonard was all over Twitter. He's very upset, calling himself a captain, being accountable for this team, and they expected to be contending for their division, definitely a playoff spot. I think they'll turn around this week against the Dolphins.
Yeah, I like that.
And then
this game. I know I said I don't like betting games. Teams favored by more than a touchdown. This might be one of them you should consider betting. I think the Jets got blanked on Sunday. They didn't score a single point. I know they were going up against a much better defense than what the Titans are putting out there. But Zach Wilson just doesn't look like he can complete the ball to his own teammates. Let's throw into the defense more than he does his offense. And like I said, after week one, the Titans are figuring out. I knew that game against the Cardinals was a fluke. This is a new offensive coordinator, a lot of new personnel on offense. They're really starting to get in the groove with that offense and how it's running. Getting Julio Jones a lot of action, Derrick Henry really picking up the last 2 weeks. How can you definitely can't bet on the Jets ever in the NFL. I don't know if you want to bet the Titans -7.5, but they're going to win this game easy. That's for sure. I don't really know much else to say about that. You should never really be betting on the New York Jets in your lifetime unless something drastically changes. But if you want to tease this one down to like 1.5, I think that's a great option just because the Jets look like the most uncompetitive team in football. Maybe you can talk about the Bears, maybe the Jaguars a little bit too, but they just look awful, completely terrible. I like the Titans and throw them in a teaser. I love that play.
Yeah, we'll mention our 2-team teaser later in the video, but if you were to add another team, then I think the Titans would be a great option here. Yeah. Make that a 3-team teaser.
The Jets very well can compete for Owens. They can be the first 0-17 team ever. Would love to see that. But this team is just a wreck. Don't even consider betting the Jets ever. Here's one that's
this
on
is
our card, and
this is our
we've been
favorite.
looking at this for all week long because this line before Sunday, like I said, we like to look at lines like on Friday, Saturday before the games. This line started out at Bears -6, so we were all over the lines at +6. Now it's already moved to +3. We still like that. The Lions are playing for something. That's not for the division. They're playing for pride. They're playing for their new head coach. They're playing for a young team. The Bears have given up. Everyone, and probably including players on the Bears roster, want Matt Nagy fired, as he should be. They had 1 yard of passing offense and 55 total yards of offense on Sunday against the Browns.
Ridiculous.
The Lions have played in 3 competitive games. They're 0-3. They're better than the record shows. The Bears are 1-2. They're basically an 0-3 team in my mind. I think the Lions win this game. We like +3. We like the money line here, but the Bears are obviously something crazy whenever you don't expect it. So if you want to be safe, I'd like the Lions just at +3.
Yeah, I'm taking Lions +3 and money line here. Matt Nagy doesn't know who's going to start at quarterback. He says all 3 of them are up for consideration right now. And like Ian mentioned, this Bears team should be 0-3. They beat the Bengals, and that was only because Joe Burrow threw 3 straight interceptions on 3 straight throws. Yeah. And they still almost came back. They only lost by 3 at the very end. The Bears are terrible. They got blown out by the Rams. They got blown out by the Browns. The Lions here had a very competitive week 1 game against the Niners, and they're very competitive and should have beat the Ravens. There was a delay of game that should have been called on the second to last play.
That kind of stuff always happens. I love that.
Like the Lions should be 1-2 right now. That field goal would not have gone in. And I think they're much better than the Bears right now. Like their games are actually close. They look good. They can do stuff on offense.
Yeah.
I can't believe the Bears offense is going to get anything going. There's no way I could ever bet on them.
Yeah, the Lions aren't a great team. It's hard to say they're a lot better than the Bears, but they just might be with what we saw the Bears on Sunday. They look like a team that's just disinterested in playing football. They're looking for new personnel, new play calling. It seems like they're more worried about the front office and the coaching than they are winning games. So I like the Lions there. We do. Here's another one that's on our card earlier this week. I'll admit it right now, early in the season, that we were dead wrong about the Washington football team.
It's early.
It's early. Their defense is just not playing the way that anyone, including ourselves, has thought it was going to be this year. That being said, they still look somewhat competitive. They beat the Giants. They played well against the Chargers. They lost that game too, but I still think the Falcons beating the Giants is nothing to brag about. I still think they're one of the worst teams in football, and I like the Washington football team with, let's call it, an average defense right now. It's definitely not good. Maybe a little bit below average, but still better than the Falcons. They got good guys on offense. You can't deny Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson. These guys are studs, and I think that kind of just gives them the edge over the Falcons, who can only put up 17 against the Giants. Their offense really isn't clicking at all, even with the talent they have. I think the football team wins this game. I think they do it in a convincing fashion. So I like 1.5. I like the money line here. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I also like the money line. I think it might end up being a closer game, but I just feel like this Washington football team's defense has to get it going. They were dominant last year, and they didn't really lose anybody. I think might be a few outliers. Might be time to start worrying, but
yeah, that's for sure.
I believe they're going to turn it around, and I think this is going to be the week.
If they needed a team to pick themselves back up, it's definitely the Falcons. They don't have a great O-line. Maybe look for guys like Sweat and Young to get in the backfield and give Matt Ryan some nightmares. I think that, like you said, there's a time for them to step up. It's right now. Let's go. Week 4, it's time to kick it into high gear and play the football that you're capable of playing. They got a weak opponent with the Falcons, and I think they'll get it done.
And then we'll jump to this divisional matchup that I'm really excited about, actually.
Love the throwback Rams uniforms.
Yeah. Steven Jackson action.
The Rams look incredible against the Bucs. That's a game that people were saying the Bucs were going to win. They were the favorite. Rams looked really good. And
that's why you got to go on Twitter. We dropped the money line play on the Rams. Like plus 108, but it was nice.
It was all over that. If you can win any plus money games, that's pretty cool in my mind. So way to be on that. I'm not going to bet this game because I think these NFC West matchups are always really competitive too. And especially these guys are both 3-0. This is going to be a competitive game. I think, you give the Rams defense the edge here, obviously, and that's probably going to be all the difference in the game. I think, and the Cardinals, they don't have a good run game, but like they're kind of like other teams where they don't rely on it anyways. Like the Chiefs, they don't need to run the ball. They just like throw the ball all the time with Kyler Murray, and it's up to him to scramble, either pick up yards himself or just extend plays to throw it. So that kind of neutralizes the stout Rams run defense, but your pass defense is still really good too. I think that -6 is a good line. I think the Rams win this game by right around 6 to 7 points, though.
Yeah, I do think the Rams are going to win this game.
You're a big Cardinals guy.
Betting spread wise, though, I am going to lead towards the Cardinals. I think 6 points is kind of a lot for a 3-0 team with a high-powered offense. I still definitely don't trust the defense. They make some big plays here and there, but they haven't been locked down or anything of that matter.
Yeah. They make highlight plays. They have big playmakers, but as a unit, in total, not nearly as good as what the Rams have. I mean, guys like Budda Baker make huge plays. You see like guys like Chandler Jones, JJ Watt, but there's still some holes in that defense, especially in that linebacking core, and maybe outside of cornerback, where the Rams don't seem to have like a gaping hole anywhere in that roster, top to bottom, offense, defense. The Rams look incredible. I can't believe how good they looked on Sunday, and if they can play like that every game, they really should never lose. I can't bet -6 because, like you said, the Cardinals are a 3-0 team. They looked really good. They had some trouble early on against the Jaguars, but then they figured it out pretty quickly. It's gonna be a good game. This is one you're definitely gonna want to watch, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be fun one to watch. I think I might have to take Cardinals +6.
This guy's been all over the Cardinals all year. You can't stop now.
Yeah, we'll keep it riding. And then
another good NFC West matchup.
Yeah.
Another game, like especially divisional games, I just almost never bet on these because there's always an added intensity to it and added higher stakes. And so you never know how some teams are going to come out and play and compete. They almost always do, and like give each other their best. So I don't like betting these. Like I said, I get to watch the games this weekend. It sounds like the Niners should have won against the Packers, but I guess 37 seconds on the clock. It's too much for Aaron Rodgers, even without any timeouts. I think I'm going to give the nod to the Seahawks, even after losing against the Vikings. If they're going to compete this year, and I think Russell Wilson is one of the biggest competitors in football, I think that they're going to figure it out, at least for one game, and beat their divisional rivals in the Niners. Yeah. They're so bad. The Niners are terrible. I mean, the Seahawks are terrible on defense. They can't really stop anything the last 2 weeks. Granted, they played some pretty good offenses in the Titans and the Vikings, but I don't know. They don't have a good run game either. It's really all on Russell Wilson this whole season, and has been for a while. But he's getting older, starting to wear at him a little bit more.
Watching this game last weekend, I was not impressed with Jimmy Garoppolo at all. Actually. The Packers got out early 17-0. The Niners kind of brought it back, but I don't remember the exact score, but the Niners were handed
27, I think.
Or I'm not talking when the Packers came back on the last drive, but like the last 8 minutes before that, the Niners got handed every single penalty. They let them back in the game. The refs did. I don't think the game should have been anywhere near that close. I'm a Bears fan, and I'm happy the Packers came back and won because they deserved to win that game. Garoppolo was missing throws and getting he got a very weak roughing the passer call where the defender was coming in. He threw the pass, and the defender went to the side, barely touched him. Garoppolo didn't even go down, and they called it.
Oh, really?
Pass. Yeah.
I saw some tweets about how bad the refs were that game, but
they're terrible.
Didn't get to see anything. So this is a game that sounds like these are two teams that are kind of trending downward. Hey, who's gonna stop the bleeding quick enough and kind of win a game where someone's got to win?
I might add this to my card later in the week, but for me, I like Seattle money line a lot here.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was not impressed with the Niners.
So many of these NFC West games, especially of late, it's decided by 3 points or less. So I think Seahawks +2.5. If you've been watching these games, following these teams, and are passionate about that, I think that's something I can sign off on. Seattle +2.5.
And then we'll get to another big game here.
What do you think here?
Yeah, so we got the Packers -7, which I think is a pretty accurate line. I don't know. Some people might think it's a little high.
I think it's a little high, but keep going. I'll get to that later.
Yeah, I don't like the Steelers at all this year. You guys know that from my futures picks at the beginning. And I know this is halfway through the video, but I mentioned this in week 1, but I'm the college basketball expert. So I know I haven't mentioned that again since we got a lot of new subscribers.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, I just want to make
All right.
that be known. Anyways, I hate the Steelers this year, and Big Ben looked terrible.
Yeah, he's a meme that game.
I saw a video of him getting the snap, trying to take like 2 steps to the right and falling down.
I'll tell you what, I think that the Steelers are going to be competitive this game and this game only. They just like pick times to compete, pick times they don't. You can see the game against the Bills. I didn't watch the Packers game at all, but I saw that Rodgers targets Davante Adams like half the time. Half of Rodgers' passing yards to Davante Adams. If the Steelers game plan to stop Davante Adams, and they have the personnel to do so, it's much easier said than done, but they have the personnel to do that. The Packers are going to struggle on offense. And that's what happened in the Saints game. You saw it. Oh, yeah. They took away Rodgers' number one option. They made him do something else, maybe rely on the run game, rely on his other receivers, and it didn't really work that well. They can rush 4 and still get an effective pass rush and get to Rodgers. They can drop back 7, double team Adams, and make them go somewhere else, and make that offense struggle. And I think that their offense with Big Ben, when he's not falling down on the ground, is capable enough to get some points. I like +7 a lot. Honestly, there's definitely a lot of scenarios where the Packers come out and blow out the Steelers too, because it seems like Rodgers is kind of getting his groove back. But I think this is a game where the Steelers defense really steps up and gives their team a chance to win. I think the Steelers are going to win. Probably not. But I think that they have enough guys on defense where they can always keep them in games, and having that good of a defense can justify you picking them +7, okay, even against a good offense at the Packers. I think the Bills' offensive passing attack is much more dangerous than the Packers because they spread the ball out a lot more, and they showed that they can kind of stop or pass first, run third team. The team that doesn't rely on the run that much. So, like I said, defense in this game is going to matter a lot for the Steelers. I think they cover.
Yeah, I'm a little too biased. I just hate the Steelers. So
yeah,
I'm probably not going to bet this.
I would never ask you to pick them.
Yeah. But this is a game.
This should be a really good game. It's going to be just showing what both these teams are really made out of. I think that out of these two teams, the Ravens are definitely more contenders and the Broncos a little bit more pretenders, which is why I really like the Ravens +1. I think Lamar Jackson is showing that he can throw the ball a little bit more, although I'd be really hesitant to see him throw the ball a lot against this secondary. But I want to see him just keep running the ball and keep making his crazy plays like he's been doing. I think when you have to ask Teddy Bridgewater to start making real plays and really move that offense and be that guy, you're going to see him struggle a little bit. If they can, get up early and keep playing their balanced offense, then yeah, Denver is going to win this game. But I think with how good the Ravens defense is, there's going to come a time where you really got to call Teddy Bridgewater's name for him to step up. And I'm not confident betting on Teddy Bridgewater, especially not him over give me Lamar Jackson all day. What do you think, though?
Wait, so the Broncos first, so they played the Giants week 1. Was it the Jags week 2?
Yeah, they're a 3-0 team. They've had an incredibly easy
schedule. I do think their defense is really good.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, but I have to give this game to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's looked incredible to me so far. He single-handedly brought him back in that Chiefs game.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he didn't come to play too much against the Lions, but they were able to pull it out at the very end. I just don't see the Broncos going 4-0, especially beating the Ravens. They haven't beaten anybody good yet, so I'm not going to buy into them until they do that.
Yeah, I mean, really what it comes down to, if you're still on the fence about this game, at the end of the day, what team do you want to pick in a pick-em game? A team with a proven track record with an MVP caliber quarterback, or a new up-and-coming team that's had a really easy first 3 weeks? I think, it's like I said, the Broncos could win this game, but I'm going to take the former MVP and the team that's making the playoffs in all the time the last few years with great coaching and great defensive personnel. Give me that veteran team with great playmakers on offense and defense.
Yeah, our card will be at the end of this video, but stay tuned for a potential pick on this game. Mm-hmm. Look out for that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then with the last game, the Sunday night game, wrapping up all the Sunday card here, we have the Patriots +6.5 at home.
Tom Brady will, and barring an injury, break the all-time passing record this game against his former team. I think he needs like 68 more yards to do it. I really like the Bucs -6.5 here. And the main reason is their defense makes teams so one-dimensional. You cannot run the football against these guys. You see like the Cowboys in week 1 when they had Dak throw the ball 60 times. And the Patriots are a team that wants to run the football that much. They don't want to have to throw the ball all the time. You saw last week against the Saints when they did, that Mac Jones and that passing attack struggled. I think you're going to see a really similar situation here against the Bucs. Tom Brady under the lights against his former team in New England. I think he shows out, goes crazy. But even without the storyline there, like I said, that defense is going to give Mac Jones nightmares. They're not going to get anything in the run game. They're going to make Mac Jones really play out of his element and step up and be the guy that he isn't yet. I think that the Patriots offense is going to struggle, and they're not going to score many points. I do like the under in this game, especially a lot too. Start out at 51, since moved to 48.5, but I still like that because I don't see the Patriots really putting up more than, let's say, 17 this game. The only thing that really scares me is that the Bucs defense can put points up themselves.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think the Buccaneers are going to cover this game. And as Brady's gotten a little bit older, he's become a little bit more cocky, a little bit more spiteful. He got embarrassed against the Rams this last week.
Yeah,
I thought so. I don't think he's going to let that happen 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, in that practice, this can be one of the most intense practice weeks they got coming off a loss. Brady's going to be screaming, barking at everyone there. Offensive players, defensive players, doesn't matter. He's not a guy that takes losing very lightly, as everyone knows. If you've watched football in the last 20 years. So he's going to have a big bounce back game. I bet it helps that he's against the Patriots, but I don't think it really mattered who they play. I think they're going to come out with a lot of firepower this game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And then with that, we'll end it with our card here.
Yeah, we got to, as you can see in the title, it's an early card. This is what we like initially. As things progress throughout the week, we like other things. We see updates and we put stuff on our card and we tweet those out. So like I said in the beginning, definitely check out Twitter for that. But right now, we mentioned all these in the video. Lions +3. I think they're the better team than the Bears. I think that these guys are inspired by their new coach, Dan Campbell, that everyone seems to love. I don't think he's the best football tactician, but you can't deny that the guys love him and want to play for him and that they come out and play 60 minutes of football every day for this guy. You can't say that about the Bears. So I like them +3, money line too. We're only putting a half unit on the money line. But if they win that game, that's great for us on our card. It's about time Washington football team starts playing a little bit closer to people's expectations this year against the lowly Falcons. I think they're -1.5. We're taking the money line. Just win the football game, please. Put the unit on that. And this Tuesday bet I love. I honestly might even add more units to this. Because I think there's no way, like I said, the Bucs are losing the Patriots. Tom Brady's not losing the Patriots. Patriots offense is getting nothing all game. And then the Chiefs money line.
They're not going
the Eagles look terrible. I think they didn't score many points. One of them was a defensive touchdown. So their offense has looked poor, especially with who's the running back from Penn State?
Miles Sanders.
He's hobbled. They ran the ball twice from all game. I mean, if this guy's healthy, they're feeding him much more often, but they just completely abandoned the run game because their O-line's hurt and so is the starting running back. They're forcing to throw the ball all game, and they can't. And that's not what Jalen Hurts just put in the football field to do. He's a dual threat quarterback, kind of like Lamar Jackson. You don't need him to throw the ball all the time. We want to rely on his legs, but that's not what they can do all game long. Chiefs aren't going 1-3. They're going to ball out this game. You're going to see a man possessed in Patrick Mahomes. I love both. This is a teacher bet. It's saying Bucs win, Chiefs win. I think that's really easy to ask for, and I don't see a lot of scenarios where these teams lose.
No, I completely agree. Once again, I will probably even put 3 units on this.
It's not going to stay at 2.5 units. We're moving that one up. I love
this one is. It's going to be the lock of the week. So, put this one in.
It's
right
already
now.
the lock of the week. It's been one thing.
Those are 6-1, like we mentioned earlier. So you're going to want to bet that as soon as possible.
Whenever that Chiefs line comes up, because it was on all day, and then
it was 6. It might be more like 8 now.
Well, no, I mean Andy Reid. I think it's off because the questions around head coach, and Andy Reid was in the hospital. I'm guessing that. I don't know how serious it was, but it's kind of tough to go out and coach another football game a week after being in the hospital. So I think it's the line's more depending on they're looking at Reid more than anything. But no matter who's out there coaching, Patrick Mahomes is a coach on the field himself, who can make literally every single play in the book. I'm excited to watch this bounce back game from the Chiefs. So, like I said, that's our lock already. If you've been one thing, bet that our locks this year and across all sports are 6-1. I got a feeling, hopefully I don't jinx it, knocking on wood. This is going to make it 7-1. And keep an eye on Twitter for tweets about our bets later in the week.
Yeah, we have a really good feeling. We're going to be adding the Ravens on Twitter. and potentially even the Titans to make this a 3-team teaser.
Mhm,
But we're
mhm.
still taking what we have here
Yeah.
on this card. So definitely tail us whatever you like, but most importantly, tail the lock. And we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please let us know in the comments what you guys think about our picks. We're coming back. We're moving towards the positive, or we are there, but we gotta create some separation now.
Yeah,
Finally, I had a tough first week or
that's fair.
two.
Yeah,
We
we're
were
trying
kind of
to if we're trying to do better than just our locks. Our locks are great. It's the secondary bets that we got to really pick up on. So especially for right now, just keep betting those locks, keep betting your bankroll, and then once we get hot, then you're really gonna want to tail the entire card. But like Kyle said, like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think, where you're leaning on these games, what you like. And we can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Good luck in week 4, everybody. We all got this.